getting these taxes done, man. Holla at Impact Center on Ash. They do taxes for free, bro. Free. For the free. But I want to get on here and tell y'all about a time in Como where doing music or rapping or R&B or whatever you did, it was a time in the mid 90s to late 90s, 98, 99, where it was a really competitive time. Nobody really collab with each other or click hopped, or it was just like them groups is them groups. When they perform, they perform. It was like nobody wanted to go to nobody else and be like, hey, let's do a song together. It's like nobody didn't want to tell nobody else they was good, because it was considered nut hugging, nut riding. And it really wasn't. It's just the competitive nature of the hip hop, how hip hop was at that time. You got to think, we just coming out of the Tupac and Biggie era, Nas and it was like going into that really competitive. This my clique, this your clique, and ain't no hating. It's just that's how it was. And until later on, a little bit past the 2000, maybe 2004, 2005, later on, 6-7 years down the line, then we got a little mature, and we always wanted to do songs with these people. And as 98 to 2005 is more cliques starting to rap. The kids that was under us a couple grades are starting to get their groups, so the young niggas is coming up too. So at this time, we starting to reach out and get beats from other people, do songs with other people. People listen to the songs, hey, it's hard, and they giving the big ups, and we giving big ups too, because we'll do a show with somebody and just check them out, and we'll do a show, and you can see people kind of lingering. Some people performed and left, then some people performed and they waited, and they were waiting for us, and you could just tell, because as we perform, it kind of clear out a little bit, and we didn't want to go on too early or too late to where we want to perform right in the middle, to where we want to perform right at its pack, right at its peak. You know what I'm saying? So. And every time you couldn't get that right time, sometimes you'd be like, damn, it's a little early, or damn, we performing hella late, everybody left. But it's a lot of times we perform late and motherfuckers hung around. And then after we perform, you can see everybody go outside, smoke, whatever. But yeah, man, we had some shit, bro. And I wanted validation from Columbia and people from Columbia, people I came up with, went to school with, to be like, you hard as a motherfucker. But I really didn't need it, because once my dad heard me, he heard me, when I rap, he kind of got dibbled and dabbed in it. But until I made this one song, me and John made this one song called Toss It Up. Once we made that, he was like, you could see his eyes like a light came on, like, that's it, that's the one. He was like, burn me that, burned him that motherfucker, boom. He shot straight to St. Louis with it. He never told nobody it was his son. They get in the car, he'll play it. And they be like, damn, that's hard. What the fuck is... And they had that, John didn't have his sound right, so it had that grit to it, that rough draft to it. So it was like, they knew it wasn't out or whatever. Some people that knew music knew, like, okay, this is not mixed and mastered all the way down to still kind of muffled. It's we can hear what they said, we can hear it, but it could be a little more crispy. But that was the roughness of it. That was the underground. That's what made it hard. So he gave me that validation, and after I got that, that's when I just was like, bing. It was up from there, and I knew I was hard because, my dad was a DJ. He did, DJ for hella people back in the 80s and late 70s. You know what I'm saying? So he got the ear for it. I got an ear for it. John got an ear for it. We knew what we had, bro. And I liked us because we just didn't stay on one subject. We just weren't like gangster rappers. We weren't just like making booty clap songs. We just wasn't making love songs. We just wasn't making conscious Nas, Jay-Z type songs. We were doing all of that. And we would do like a rock rap type of alternative. Man, we would just we would just go the extra mile with the shit we did, and especially when we started communicating with other cliques and just the mixture of it. It was always hard, bro. And I was a guy that, I mean, I was a solo artist. I was with just one other guy. I was in a group. I was in a band. I was like jack of all trades, bro. And no matter who I clicked up with, that shit always came out hard. At first, it was me, Chris, and Julia. Bam. That was a mixture. Cause Chris kind of sings, so that made us, get some female attention from us. And then John kind of came in. My dad kind of knew John Dre people, and I guess he went over to John Dre people's house, and I guess he heard John making a beat downstairs. And that's how I met John, for my dad. My dad knew John auntie, and we was cool. They was cool from St. Louis, so when they moved up here, they clicked, and he heard some beats. He went downstairs and he seen a little light-skinned nigga making beats. He was like, "Hey, my son do music. Y'all need to hook up." So maybe a week or two after that, we ended up hooking up. I seen that nigga. He had a backpack on. He had all the equipment in that bit. So he started making some beats and showing me some beats he had. I'm like, oh man, this is meant to be, bro. Well, I mean, what are the odds that my dad go in and this man's making a beat and he hears it? And I mean, we eventually would have hooked up because our families were so close like that. But for him to hear that at that early stage, and I probably met John 93, 92, 90, 93, 94. Yeah, I've been knowing John for a long time, bro. That's a long time. Cause 25 now. And then you add on another. Shit, that's 32. That's like 32 years, bro. 32, 33, some years I knew that man, bro. And we get down. We still cool to this day. I still got the same partners I had from when I was in junior high school. I still got the same homies I had from junior high school. We may have got into it, argue, whatever, but I still got the same homies, bro. That tells you a lot about my mentality on the friendship tip. So, Midwest Ballers. Y'all know what it is. Then, Dice One Productions. Then I started, branched off. Cause Dre, he do his own solo thing too. And then, his brother 40 Cal come in, and I wish that 40 Cal was a little more into the music. He was more in the street. But, I mean, we was all in the street, but he was more in the street. And me and John was more like we had a chemistry going. And Cal would step in every now and then and get on the song. But he was hard, and I just wish he would have matured on that level to where we could have been like a triple threat on the ass, three-headed monster. But I got the three-headed monster on when it was me, HM Trick, and Chad Black. 300. Dice One. Just Get It Records. 300. Me, Chad, HMT, Chad Black, and HM Trick. Man, we did 2 albums together, and they did another one by themselves. I did a solo. Me and John probably did 3 or 4 albums together. Me, John, and Chris and Julian probably did a couple albums together, all of us. Chris did a solo by himself. Crazy J did a couple solos by himself. I probably did a couple solos by myself. All kind of collabos. Then I branched off again, and me and my nigga AC, Antonio Big Boy Montana, we had the Mobraska album, BFG's Blackfoot Gangsters. Man, shout out to Dump Truck, Mac Cheesy in the building, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, we had that combination going. And then, my little niggas came up, Swag Kings, E-Dub, Jesse James, Brian B. Flexin, shout out to Scotty Skills too, man. Scotty Skills was a dynamic duo. That was another, we got a lot of chemistry, especially when he got his studio in his basement. over there off of I don't know the actual street name. What was that street that went out there by Smiley? Smiley, yeah, out there by Smiley. Man, that was the leg. Niggas remember East Morris. Niggas remember East Morris. Niggas remember Native Dancer. Off of Smiley over there. Sky Skills off of Smiley. I was off of East Morris right there. Man, that was it, bro. Like 2014 on up to 18. That was a crazy time right there, bro. I had a lot of money in that time. I was making a lot of money between 2014 and 2018. Then I shot to Kansas City. Did my little thing up there because it got a little hot. I had to there. I got spooked. I had to went up there with my daughter. Did that. Came back with a whole different type of flow. I went up there, got off a drug, got clean, and shout out to Moneybagg Yo. I started listening to Moneybagg Yo up there in Kansas, and it fucked me up. I'm like, cause I wasn't doing no music up there. I couldn't find no. Shout out to my nigga nigga named Brian Duncan. Y'all know my nigga BD. So yeah, my nigga was up there. He was living, right there about probably 10 minutes away from me. He'll shoot, come get me. We'll shoot to the city. Boom, me, my girl, and him shoot to the city, kick it in the red light in the district. Kicking it, bro. Shoot, get some tree, get a couple drinks, man. Shoot to the city. Kansas City Chief game night, niggas downtown, man. We in that bitch, and I ain't never really been out in Kansas City like that. That motherfucker popping. My nigga almost slapped a white boy down there too. I had to calm him down because it was too hot. Nigga too hot. And I had to tell the nigga to drink some milk out here. It's getting too hot out here. But yeah, I just want to throw that out there. But I got a lot of respect from a lot of people. And there was a lot of more people I did music with too. Trout of Water, Ray, Young Ray, another one. Shout out to 6 Foot on the beats on that. It's so many people. I don't want to, forget nobody. And a lot of clicks. Shout out to B.I.G. Remember Big Lance. He got my flow game right. I couldn't really flow like that until I started fucking with him. That nigga never wrote shit, bro. Straight flow. Shout out to Big Lance, because you got me on the top of my shit. And that was before it. I met you in 93. I know that for sure. And we was in my living room rapping. I met you around the time I met John. So, man, we just smoke weed and rap. I'm writing down shit. Nigga, I got my flow tight. That's how I got my flow tight. Shout out to Big Lance, man. Shout out to Corey Everett. He really didn't rap. He didn't fuck around with it, but he fucked with it. You know what I'm saying? He supported the nigga. Shout out to Corey Everett. That's my brother. That's like my brother for real. From another mother. Stayed at that nigga crib. Like, my house was his house was my house. So man, we did a lot of, man, I grew up with that boy. Straight up. Shout out to that man, there's so many people. If I left out, I love you. It's just so many people, man. There was another clique that was with the Big Lands, Germ, B. Duncan was over there too, Rusty Boatwright. They had their thing going. I was a big fan of Rusty. Baby J, how could I forget Baby J? Baby J, what's happening? You know what it is? Nigga getting it up in there. Open up your mind like I opened up the door. Steady pimpin' hoes, you ain't got no dough, then go. Put it with a Mac 44. You went about to put sweat and bust a lay low. Open up your mind like I opened up the door. And hoes, you ain't got no dough, then go. Yeah, you know what it is. A little Arkansas, we had a little friction, but yeah, we ironed it out. Got some straightening going on, Shout out to my nigga. Big Ant, tall ass Ant. You know what it is, man. But yeah, I'm gonna get on about it. I've been talking for too damn long. I gotta go.